Are we good? Are we good? Okay. Hey there. If you're watching this, then I just broke into YouTube's algorithm. And since you're already here, you might as well watch this video. Yeah, we're not doing that. Who came up with that idea? Hi, my name is Richard Holdridge. I've been a chef for about 15 years. Okay, maybe 12. I don't know, somewhere in between there. I've worked with some absolutely amazing people in the industry. Cue those famous chefs. Okay, maybe a Michelin star restaurant? Okay, how about a sommelier? Maybe an award? Award-winning barbecue sauce? What? No, but seriously, I had a great career and I built everlasting relationships with super cool people.
One-night stands with bartenders.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was smooth sailing in the works of opening my own restaurant, and then the Rona. Who saw that one coming? So with this new stay-at-home order, my creative tick was taken away and I was about to explode. So I took up woodworking, backyard gardening, day drinking, made my long green, bought a chicken, eggs, bacon, running, day drinking, working out, yoga, made a podcast, well, kinda. Oh, and did I mention day drinking? I was going out of my mind. So I started watching YouTube videos about photography and videography, and it hit me like a brick. This is it. This is what I want to do. So fast forward a month or so, I thought, why not put my newfound passion for videography together with my old-time knowledge of cooking and let them get drunk and have a baby together so they can have an unwanted child just like me. That sure got deep. Somebody will love it though, right? Right? So, without further ado, I present to you The Cut Up, starring me.
Just tell them his name.
But I did at the beginning.
Yeah, but it just sounds better.
Does it though?
Yeah, just fucking do it.
I present to you The Cut Up featuring Richard Holdridge. There, you happy? F***ing son of a bitch. You lucky I don't fire your god.
Hey there, my name's Chef Richard Holdridge. Welcome to our very first episode. The point of this show is to give people a real take on what it's like being a chef. Cooking shows tend to highlight all the cool stuff, but don't really get into the ins and outs of what it's really like to get there. The do's, the don'ts, the business side, the politics. It's not an easy job. Rant time. It's 12 to 14 hour shifts. It's the burns, the heat, the babysitting, the dealing with morons, the coordination of the entire operation most of the time. Why would anybody want to be a chef? Servers with daddy issues?
Shut the fuck up!
Jesus, I was gonna say no. We do it because it's hard. If I wanted to do something easy, I'd call your friends.
The fuck you just
Whoa,
said?
wait.
I'ma fuck you up.
I'm also gonna be teaching various dishes that I learned along my career path, as well as tricks and techniques that we still use in the industry. This won't be secluded to just cooking, but also handling, storage, beverage, inventory, financial, and any and all things that I feel like talking about because, well, it's my show. We're also gonna have fun and laugh along the way. Also, if you would like me to cover any dishes or any topics pertaining to the industry, let me know in the comments below. Oh yeah, and if you think you're getting a video of your request without hitting that subscribe button, not gonna happen. Our first dish is a special one. I didn't even make one episode and I already got called out from the mother of an old childhood friend. Was one of my best friends until I met my wife.
Aw, love you.
Yeah, I love you, just don't hit me. Anyways, his mother, which I love dearly, she's a sharpshooter with a paintball gun, that's for sure. She said her sketty sauce was the tits. I told her my Italian gravy was better. So tomato sauce it is. We'll do it over fresh pasta. Maybe throw 2 tree meats in it and call it a Sunday gravy. Yay! It also gives us a lot to cut so we can really drive home on those knife skills. All right, now that we got that out of the way, time to get our asses on the line. Every episode I'll be shoving a new technique or strategy down your throat while we're preparing our dish. For our first episode, we're gonna keep it light for everybody on our technique lesson, how to use a knife. If you already know how to hold a knife and you're fairly confident in your knife skills, just keep watching. There's more to learn. If you're the person that just grabs the ingredients with flat fingers, holds the end of the handle, and slightly shakes when they have to cut something, you're right where you need to be. So let's grab your apron, grab your knife, and don't forget the bottle of alcohol and a box of Band-Aids. Oh, and gloves. Because we're not heathens. So what are we gonna need? Well, depends on how much you wanna make. When I make something like this, it takes quite a bit of time. I usually make a lot and then freeze the leftovers because I got a gang of kids that are always hungry. So at any moment, I can whip that bad boy out and throw it in a pot of hot water, let the edges thaw a little bit, throw it in a pan to heat it up, boil some dry pasta, and bada bing, there's lunch, you little shits. I'm kidding, I love them. Little lazy, good for nothing, never clean their room ass kids. This will be enough to make 2 quarts or so, or roughly feed about 12 people. For the meats, now this part isn't necessary if you're following along at home, but this will make your dish go from okay to wow. And vegans, skip ahead, nothing to see here. We're gonna need 1 small rack of pork ribs, preferably Danish baby backs, 5 each sweet Italian sausages, and 2 pounds of 80/20 ground beef for the meatballs. Set aside 1 sweet yellow onion, 5 or 6 decent leaves of basil, a bit of oregano, a tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 large egg, 1/8 cup of milk. Oh, and here's the kicker. 1 russet potato. Yo, what's with the potatoes, chef? That's why they call me chef, man. Just trust me. For the sauce, 2 large sweet yellow onions, 1 medium carrot or 2 smaller like I have, 1 stalk of celery, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 6 Roma tomatoes, 2 ounces of basil, 2 ounces of oregano, 1/4 ounce thyme, 1/4 ounce rosemary, 2 cans tomato puree, a nice chunk of pecorino romano or parmesan, 1/4 cup of good balsamic vinegar. Look for Made in Modena. It's a city in Italy. Check the back and make sure there's no caramel color. That's how you know you got the right stuff. You also need 2 cups of red wine. Rant time. Look, there's a saying out there that if you wouldn't drink it, don't put it in your food. Well, I call bullshit. Unless you're gonna be making a red wine reduction where the wine itself is gonna be the star of the show, or that particular flavor profile is gonna be very present in the dish, then it just really doesn't matter. Especially with all the other stuff that's going on in here, it's all gonna overshadow the flavor of the wine anyway. Look, if you wanna dump a $30 bottle of wine in here, by all means, but I'm gonna use an $8 bottle of Carlo Rossi Paisano and use it about 10 times and it'll be just the same. And remember, I'm gonna make fresh pasta, but we'll save that recipe for another episode. We're gonna start by getting ourselves organized and prepped up. Take a look at the ingredients list and organize everything accordingly, as well as going and grabbing some Tupperware or bowls or something to put all your prepped items in. Do you ever feel frantic or unsure or anxious while you're cooking? Chances are you're just underprepared or unorganized. Another saying in the industry, we got a lot of those. You're gonna eventually hear them all. The 6 P's. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. Let's start by cutting all of our vegetables and getting them organized on how we're gonna use them. Since we're focusing on our knife skills, let's work on the sofrito first. Sofrito is the same as mirepoix, if you've ever heard that term. It's just the Italian word for it, and it's prepared just a bit different. If you never heard it either, it's simply carrot, celery, and onion, and it's typically used in soups and stocks and various dishes for flavor enhancement. The carrot, celery, and 2 of the onions, we're not gonna have to worry about how we'll cut it because we're gonna have to liquefy them. Before we get started, let's talk about the knife. You want to grip your handle so you're pinching at the point where the blade and the handle connect. This will allow you to gain more control. Think of the knife as an extension of your arm. I know it sounds like a Confucius says sort of thing, but it's true. So we're gripping up on the knife on the top end, not holding it like a hammer. That's not going to work. We're going to take our other hand, put it on the cutting board like the thing from the Addams Family. Now your middle knuckle is the star of the show here. This is what's going to stop you from ever cutting yourself. Roll it so your middle knuckle is the part that sticks out with your fingertip hidden inside. Now your index finger and your ring finger are what's going to secure the product that you're cutting to the cutting board, and your thumb is going to guide the product forward to keep it moving while you cut. All right, so here we go. Let's grab our carrots. You can cut it in half real quick and make it easier to work with until you get the hang of things. So let's cut it in half lengthwise. And we're going to take our time cutting through all of this. You're pushing down, but you're also pushing forward. Remember, let's grab our product securely with our index finger and our ring finger, pushing with our thumb, using our middle finger as a guide for the knife. And once again with the hand, as you can see, with the index finger and the ring finger, using our pinky to stabilize, and our thumbs there to push everything towards the knife. You see how the fingertips are protected from the knife with the knuckle? It's key. Pushing down and slicing forward. Now let's move on to the onion. Let's take the top off. You see this part? This is the root. We want that to stay intact. That's going to help us hold the onion together. So let's cut it down the middle. Now we got to peel these bad boys. You're going to start by finding the corner. You're going to grab it firmly and you're just going to rip it down. You rip it right to the root. Just pull it right off. Once again, here we go. Same thing. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, back again with the hand. Knuckles out, fingertips in, and it's gonna protect us. Remember, we're gripping up on the handle, not holding it like a hammer. Nice and easy and smooth. Now the goal is to get all the way through the product, if you can see here, all the way back to the root. Try not to cut all the way through. You're trying to get as close as you can, but without getting all the way through it. So once again with the knuckles, there you go. Cutting a nice little medium dice. Now what to do with the leftover of the root here? Take as much of it as you can. We don't waste nothing around here. Now you don't need to be an asshole and get all the way up in there, but just take as much as you comfortably can. Now what to do with the root? Discard it. Good job. You got it yet? No? No? It's okay. Some people learn slower than others, I guess. I'm kidding. It takes a while to get used to the feeling. I know it feels super weird at first, but if you keep doing it, it'll 1, speed up the process, 2, give you a peace of mind that you're not going to cut yourself, and 3, allow you to look off once in a while to see how things are progressing if you're prepping and cooking all at the same time. So we got our sofrito cut up. What now? Grab your blender, Vitamix, Bullet, Ninja, whatever you got that's gonna liquefy the ingredients. Chef, I'm cool and I got a food processor for Black Friday this year. Good for you. Stick them in there and let them rip, kid. If you're not a cool kid and you're using a shitty blender like me and everything gets stuck or the blade isn't catching them, you can turn off the blender and push the ingredients back down, or grab a bit of water and throw it in there to help the blades catch. While that's gone, we're gonna grab some stuff for the meatballs because that's what's gonna be processed next. We're gonna be using the same techniques as we were before because we're not worried about the cuts. We're gonna blend the shit out of them anyway. Let's do that real quick by peeling our potato and giving it a rough cut. Same thing with the onion, and let's pick some of our herbs. Don't try to cut them yet, as I can use this opportunity to show you the best way to do so. And we'll run this video while we're waiting you to get ready. Hey, remember, grip up, roll your finger, use your knuckle, don't cheat yourself, trust yourself. Confidence is half the battle. Okay, assuming that we're ready now, let's move on to the herbs. It's a pretty simple method here. It's a French term called a chiffonade. We're gonna stack the basil with the biggest one at the bottom. Try to stuff as much of the oregano on top as we can and then roll it like a blunt. If you're the type of person that thinks weed is a gateway drug to heroin and meth, and it's gonna make you go out of your mind and fight pit bulls that eat babies, well, then roll it like a lettuce wrap, Karen. Okay, it's rolled up already. Same technique with the knife, making sure that we cut all the way through the herbs. I know some of us have dull knives, and we'll get to the importance of a sharp knife in another video, but for now, if you have a knife that just doesn't seem to get through, let's slice through it slowly instead of cutting down into it. It's a better practice to do this anyway. Now let's throw everything we cut into the blender. You can rinse out the remainder of the sofrito if you want. I don't mind it, it's not gonna hurt anything. Let's add the egg, milk, and garlic. And of course, salt and pepper. Rant time again. If you're buying whole garlic and crushing it and peeling it, you're wasting your damn time. Buy it peeled, or even better, buy it in a jar ready to go. It's all the same thing. I always buy mine peeled, especially in a commercial setting when I go through about 10 pounds in a week. Could you imagine peeling that? 99% of the time when we need a good amount of garlic, we have it brought in, peeled and ready to go, and we just take out what we need, throw it in a food processor and pulse it. Part of being a good chef is evaluating what's worth your time and focus. Now you can be that douchebag that orders whole garlic and hire a guy to come in and work 8 hours to do nothing but peel and chop garlic for you if you want. Sounds ridiculous to me though. Anyways, we're gonna dump all that into a bowl and mix it all around until it's thoroughly incorporated. Let's get a sheet pan and roll out 2-ounce balls. It's better to really work the meatballs as you form them so you don't get cracks or air pockets. This will cause them to deform and break while cooking them. Set them aside, or even better, put them into a fridge if you have the space. This will help solidify the fat again and make them easier to work with later. All right, let's cut our ingredients just like we learned before, but this time we're gonna really focus in on trying to get as close as we can to cutting everything the same exact size. So for the onions, we're gonna do a medium dice. That looks like this. Same with the Roma tomatoes. That looks like this. We're also going to pick the remainder of the herbs and use the same technique with the basil by putting the rest inside the roll with it to maximize our efficiency. So let's get that done, yeah? Chop, chop, what are we waiting on? All right, now that we got everything cut up, we got one more step before we start cooking. We're gonna cut it every 2 bones, following the second bone with the blade of the knife. Lightly season the meat side. Okay, here we go. Get your pot to a medium heat with roughly 4 tablespoons of oil. We're gonna drop the baby backs in there meat side down until we get a good sear on them. Don't overcrowd the pot because that will bring the temperature of the pot down and it'll actually take longer to do this process. Repeat the process, checking on the temperature of your burner, controlling the heat. If we burn everything on the bottom of the pan, then the whole idea of this is ruined. You see, we're searing the meats not only to caramelize, but to also create a fond, which will lift up later to create a robust, amazing flavor. Continue on to the sausages and meatballs, setting everything aside and out of the way when they're done. They will all go back into the sauce in different stages once it is built. It is best to keep the meatballs separate because they won't go back into the sauce until the last 20 or 30 minutes. Okay, quickly. When all the meat is out, we're gonna throw in our diced onions and cook them until they're translucent. You don't have to be super precise with this since we're cooking this sauce for quite some time. Trust me, they'll have plenty of time to cook. The reason we really start with them is to start the process of lifting up the fond. After they cook for a few minutes, let's drop in the sofrito mixture we made and stir that around. While this is going, toss in the herbs and the garlic. You have to be very diligent with the cooking time after throwing in garlic without any liquid. Garlic can go from yummy to really bitter real quick if it gets browned too quick. But with all the liquid from the sofrito, it'll buy us some time. If I scared you with the burning garlic thing, just toss in your tomatoes now and it'll buy you even more time. So after a few minutes of letting all that cook down, if you haven't freaked out and already put in the tomatoes, now's the time. Once that's in and stirred around, it's time to deglaze and reduce. So let's throw in our wine and balsamic vinegar and let that reduce for about 15 minutes, stirring every few minutes. Let's keep this on a medium heat. Slow and steady wins the race with this one. Okay, we're cooked down about half of what we started with. The point of reducing is to evaporate the water out and intensify the flavors. Everything looks good, so let's put in our tomato puree. When you're choosing a can of tomato puree, look on the back in the ingredients list, and if it says anything other than tomatoes and maybe water, then I say don't buy it. I use Senta because it's literally just canned tomatoes with nothing else. I'm sure that there's others out there, but this is what's available to me. After that, we'll add in a bit of salt and pepper, but not too much as we can season the taste after it's all cooked down. Stick in the ribs and let it cook on medium-low, like 2 or 3 for about 30 minutes. We're stirring and moving around the ribs, scraping the bottom to check for any scalding every 5 minutes or so. So when the 30 minutes is up, we're gonna put in our sausages and repeat the process for another 30 minutes. Yeah, I said sausages. And when that's all done, you guessed it, we're gonna put the meatballs in and do it for another 30 minutes. Now at this stage with the meatballs, we wanna be very careful stirring so we don't break up the little balls of meat in there. So we're gonna turn it down to a low heat. Mine says low. If yours doesn't, just turn yours down to where it's barely bubbling. And don't forget to salt your water ferociously. If you're using fresh pasta, it should only take about 1 minute. If you're using dried pasta, it should probably take about 7 to 12 minutes depending on the 1 in a million shapes there is out there. So plan accordingly. So do you guys remember that whole spiel about the 6 Ps and all that hoo-ha and jazz? About staying organized and having everything ready, mise en place. We didn't cover that. Yeah, I forgot to make the pasta. Not only that, I just found out that we don't have any more semolina flour, or all-purpose flour for that matter, or eggs. So I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I guess we're going to the store. Let's go. Back in business. Okay, so I pulled the sauce off the heat while we were making the pasta. It's really not hard to make fresh pasta. It's pretty much just flour, eggs, ball, cover, rest, roll, fold, roll, cut, water. Got it? Good. For the amount of sauce we made, we're gonna first pull the meats out and portion them into what we feel is necessary for one person. Personally, I say 2 bones, half a sausage, and 2 balls is plenty. Take a ladle or serving spoon and put a couple of scoops of sauce into a saute pan and let the rest cool. Take that pasta that you've made, that you had ready to go, no problem. Yeah, we're super organized over here. All right, let's take the pasta out of the water. It's looking good. Put it in a pan and toss it to coat the pasta with the sauce. Now, I highly suggest that you learn how to do this, as it will increase your efficiency. Also, it looks cool as fuck. If this scares you, you can just use tongs to move and flip the pasta around in the sauce to achieve the same result. Now, you can just dump it into a plate or a bowl and eat it if you want, or you can learn how to plate pasta the right way so it looks nice for your guests or Instagram or whatever it is that you do. The ideal way is to take a carving fork and a ladle and use the inside of the ladle as a vessel to twirl the pasta into a twister tornado. Now, if you don't have this going on, then this is how you do this with tongs to get a not so clean but similar result. When you've chosen which route you're going to take, you're going to place the meats in an orderly fashion on a plate, then repeat this process for how many dishes you're going to need. Ideally, you want to get a good Pecorino Romano to shave over the top of this for the best results, but if you can only find one of the triangle Parmesans in your grocery store, then that's fine too. Swirl a bit of balsamic reduction for a bit of 1990s pizzazz and you're good. Now, if you guys want to see a plate of how I do it, check this out. Hey guys, if you're still here and you watched all the way through, thank you so much. I want to thank Delianne Fabrizi for giving me the baseline for my first episode. This first one had a lot of trial and error, especially around 5 kids. But I'm going to start shortening them up and pumping them out now that I have an idea of how I want everything to look. So, with that being said, let's pack it up and I'll see you at the bar, okay? Yeah? Hey Frankie, did you do produce yet? No? Come on, man, I'm trying to go the fuck home.